Hey there, it's Kat with Taming the Tangle, and today let's dive into the Sun card. So, as you know, if you've listened to the Star and the Moon videos, the Sun card is a very, very welcome moment. Star is a tough initiation, but like a thank goodness gives you some hope, to follow along in the darkness. And then you get thrown into a dark tunnel, the moon, which is like a birth canal. And then you come out reborn on the other side and go, whew, but you are stripped bare, usually naked, sometimes way more youthful because you've peeled back some of those layers of how you've defined yourself, and you're willing to be vulnerable and see life fresh and new again. Another aspect to the sun, I love this interpretation in the Wildwood Tarot, it's called the Sun of Life, is to feel fully activated. There's an aspect of the sun card, you can be really literal about it. Like, how can you shine more brightly, and shine from your heart center and really just let that light be as bright as the sun. The sun does not manage itself. We manage the sun. We're the ones who put on clothes or wear hats or put on sunblock, sit in the shade, do different things. But the sun just shines on. And sometimes, that's right, you're going to be a little too much for people. And that's okay. That's actually your job, is to be the biggest, fullest version of you that you can be. There's so many times that we end up tempering ourselves, like we're told that we're loud, so we start speaking more quietly, or we don't laugh so uproariously. And then the more that you temper yourself down to sort of fit in society, the less you start recognizing yourself. The more you're like, oh my God, you get kind of paranoid. Am I going to be offending someone? Am I going to do something where someone's going to tell me to quiet down again? I mean, I've been there. I used to be a very loud talker at parties and laughing, and it was really great. And then people started telling me that I'm too much, and I started making myself smaller. Now I hardly ever go to parties. It's like they became very triggering for me. But I love that time of, I miss that part of myself of just being able to effusively show someone, oh my God, I'm so excited to see you. I'm so excited to be here. So excited we're together. Tell me all the things. And just to show that level of energy. I mean, unless you have a dog, you don't get that in your life that much, I mean, dogs, they just kind of go all out like, yes, you're home. Oh my God. And we should do that for each other more. We should just do that for ourselves, to just feel like, how am I unbounded, And there's definitely aspects to this card. Well, I'll show you the two that have little kids on them. So this one from the Star Tarot has a little baby there coming out from the butterfly, and this one from Usi Pagan Otherworld with the little baby on the horse. It is the idea of coming back to that youthful version of you. When we're born as children, we're not tempering ourselves, we cry when we want to cry. We're, let people know when we're hungry, or when we've gone to the bathroom. We're just kind of doing the things as we do them. We're not going, oh, is this the appropriate time to do it? And of course, we need, some of that training to fit into society, to function around others, and we have schedules. But the sun is letting you know, can you loosen that up a little bit? How can you make life fresh again? And that's, whether or not you see that on your card. I mean, you want to see it on your card is what I'm trying to say. So if you have a card like this that has a youthful infant on it, then you might interpret it that way. Other cards where I have these grown adults on them, it's they're interpreted a little bit differently. Like, to me, these are much more shine on with where you are, share your wisdom, share your light, like, be bright and let that ripple out. You don't have to go back to being an innocent person per se, like the childlike ones, but to shine without holding it back at all. So there is that aspect of innocence to it. So to sort of recap that sense of rebirth that happens with the sun, just remember coming through this dark tunnel of the moon. And it's sort of like, oh my gosh, it's a little bit like when spring arrives. You're like, thank you, thank you, thank you, spring. Unless you're like me and you happen to love winter. But that feeling of we're so grateful to be back in the light again. And there is that aspect to the sun because there's just one card following it that closes out the shadow journey, and that's judgment. It's a pretty big deal one. Um, I've already recorded a video on that. So check that one out because it's sort of interesting how you can go from the sun, this place of gratitude and glowing and just being like, yes, I'm alive. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And then judgment is like, ba bam. But are you living up to your own values and standards? So judgment is in the cage. It's not saying like, oh, you have to do this a certain way, but it is trying to check in on, are you living in alignment with your heart? So that's what I definitely feel when I see something like the sun card from the Wildwood Tarot, is that there is this heart activation of going, yes, I feel so blown open and alive. I'm going to share that with the world. That's what I'm putting out. That is what my driving force is. And we all know in life, there's just a mixture of everything, but you get a choice. You get to choose what you put out in the world. It doesn't mean you're denying the other. You're just not feeding it. So what are you going to feed? Are you going to feed that positivity, feed that heart energy? Let that direct more of your movements. And that can be very childlike and playful. This doesn't always have to be about like work and purpose and all of that. It can be like, I feel like doing this, I feel like doing that, and having, one of those days where you sort of follow the joy, be a joy warrior of like, how can I get out there and appreciate life so much, enjoy your experiences, because when you're enjoying them, that helps you to ripple it out. You don't always have to be putting out. You want the inputs too. You do want to be just enjoying life, celebrating what's here, and blossoming, sort of like with flowers, going, there's the sun, I can open up. It's the sun that helps those buds to open up. Let this card make you think of that, of like, right, here's my time to blossom. It's my time to open up. There will be other phases in the cycle, but let this be that innocent awakening, seeing life anew again, feeling refreshed and just shining brightly in that way. It doesn't mean you have to be loud. You do it in your way. Just think of all the different types of flowers. They're not competing with each other. They're just blooming and doing their thing. And they make this amazing patchwork of a planet that we live on, a gorgeous garden. We get to experience. Some are scented, some are small, some are big and colorful and loud. There's all different types of things, and different beings radiate with those different types of flowers, and that's true for you too. But when you're authentically you, you'll find the right vibration out in the world that resonates with you and that feels supportive to you. So don't worry about any of the naysayers. This is the card of like, you be you very fully, shine on, let go of any mask. Don't feel like you have to put yourself in a box. Let go of that and go out there and greet the world fully. Hope this is helpful for you in interpreting the sun card when it comes up in your spread. Of course, it matters what cards are around in the spread. There's other influences at play. It also matters what your card looks like. So you need to be interpreting that using your own intuition. That's usually how I teach tarot when I do classes. I do some in person. I'm developing an online series, much more about awakening your intuition. But it's so much fun to talk about the cards. I love doing deep dives into them and giving like slightly different interpretations of the cards of what's considered standard, because it really does change. And each card has light and shadow energies to it. So just feel into that as well. If you have any questions, just drop a comment down below and I will reply to it, and I will see you in future videos.